Who do you think of when you think of leaders of Black Lives Matter?
What comes to my mind typically, I think the images that come to mind are more so like protest, thinking about in summer 2020, also in 2016, thinking about groups of people coming together to call out the violence committed against Black people in America, but also images of people who have lost their lives because of police brutality. I don't think as much so of specific leaders in the movement.
I really could not really pinpoint of who I would think of. I know personally, like, I follow this guy named Shaun King, and that's where I really get my information from, and all the insight of what's going on about Black Lives Movement is Shaun King personally.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of view Black Lives Matter as sort of like, you know, a community sort of organization. I'm sure that there are like specific like leaders like involved, but it's just like I can't really think, I can't name one. So I just kind of see it as like a collective sort of movement, you know.
I guess I don't really know who the leaders of the movement are. It seems like fairly diffuse, I guess, having like various branches in different cities, so maybe it doesn't center around one individual as much as some movements might.
So I'm going to show you pictures of different civil rights leaders, and I'm going to ask you if you know who they are. So for the first one, here's a picture of a civil rights leader. Do you know who this is?
Yes.
And who is it?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm.
That's MLK.
So, do you know who this is?
Yes, it's Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, that is Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, Martin Luther King Jr.
Jimmy McMillan. No, I'm kidding. Martin Luther King.
And then how about this figure?
Yes, that's Malcolm X.
Awesome.
Malcolm X.
Yes.
Is that Malcolm X?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Do you know who this is?
That's Malcolm.
Yes. Yeah, you got it.
Is that Malcolm X?
Okay.
Malcolm X, I think.
Malcolm X.
Good job.
And then how about this civil rights leader?
No.
Not sure. I might know who that is in a different image, but
I don't recognize this person.
Do you know who this is?
I do not. I'm sorry.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Not sure.
Ella Baker.
Good job.
And maybe this figure?
No.
that's not Kimberly Crenshaw, right?
No, it's not. But
Okay.
that's a good guess.
I also do not recognize this person.
Do you know who this is?
No.
I also don't know who that is.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Alicia Garza.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who this is?
Nope.
No, I'm not sure who that is.
I also do not recognize this person. I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry.
Do you know who this is?
No.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Patrisse Cullors.
Nice.
And finally, do you know who this is?
No.
I also do not recognize this person.
No.
I also don't know who that is.
Okay.
Not sure.
Ashton P. Woods.
After seeing all these pictures and all these leaders, has your perception or opinion on who leads this movement shifted at all?
Personally, I still kind of feel the same as before. Like, I think I still view like Black Lives Matter really existing in the community and not necessarily in certain leaders themselves.
I actually think of Black Lives Matter not even just in terms of the leaders, but just like, because anyone can be a part of it now, you know, and everyone, or, you know, a lot of people are a part of it now, especially with the rise of social media.
It's like interesting to hear a phrase like they're founders of like the Black Lives Matter movement, and obviously they've been like instrumental in creating conversations and bringing this to like the forefront of the American like public view about racism in America. But like I think because since it's like a social movement, I think anybody who like cares about the movement and participates in it is like a leader in it.
I feel like maybe male leaders are more like prominent in people's minds, but I don't think I had the perception that BLM, I guess BLM specifically, was dominated by like male leadership. Like I wouldn't have assumed that, especially because it's like very modern.
Well, you know, the beautiful thing about movements is it's not dependent upon one individual, right? So as long as there's a cry for justice and a cry for equity, there will always be a movement. And the people are the movement. And so I love, again, going back to Ella Baker, who talked about this participatory democracy and also talks about the fact that strong people don't need strong leaders. You just give them a light, they'll find their way. And so that's always been true. And so I think the role, and particularly like my work as an organizer, is to give resource and provide resource to those folks that don't have it and get out of the way and let them do their own work. Folks are already organizing, activism's already happening in the community. It just, you know, folks don't really know about it, right? And it's not put on the news, you know, it's not an insurrection or it's not a super large march. So this movement, this decentralized leadership, I think shows that, one, you don't have to be a straight black male in a suit to participate in this movement, right? You can be any and everything and participate and show up as your full self. And that wasn't always possible, right? And that wasn't always celebrated and also not uplifted, right? And so now we're seeing recognition, and even still, it's not where it needs to be, but recognition of trans lives that have been lost, right? These types of things where it's not enough, but we're moving, at least hopefully, toward a hopeful future and in a better direction for some of these different issues that affect our communities.